If you're wondering how you're gonna get to achieve your next big goal, like you want to increase your finances, you want to make more money, you probably want to have maybe a new house or you want to find a wife, whatever is that you want, and you feel like you need to reach a new level of power within your life. Well, there is a very simple way to do, and you probably already have heard about it. Unfortunately, we might not have taken it as seriously as it is. And I can tell you, because I've seen changes in the life of people around me with that. I've seen Ling going from broke to making 400K in a month. I've seen people who really like get over their financial ceiling in a matter of weeks just because they did that thing of simply changing the way they think in order to change the way they feel and the way they behave. And the only reason you want to change, to have something different, is because you've seen other people having that level, that quality of life, and you told yourself, hey, maybe I could be like them. And just by doing that, you already have that role model. And what you can do is to take the way they behave, the way they speak, the way they feel, and bring that within your life. And that happens simply by doing this simple thing of meditation and hypnosis. With meditation, you make space within your thinking. Like you have all these thoughts, and when you meditate in silence, you just really allow yourself to learn how to have more space between the thinking. And like this, with hypnosis, you can bring new thoughts within it and change who you are in a matter of days and weeks. It's so amazing. I've been through that kind of transformation. I used to be a drug addict. I used to take cocaine every day for more than 10 years. And then one day I started like gradually changing myself, doing meditation, doing hypnosis. And I went to a new path. I made a transformation. And then I developed that new identity to become even more of who I am right now. And it's wonderful because I traveled around the world. I lived in more than 12 countries. I met such many amazing people that really are so beautiful. And and then now I'm making a full-time living online and I'm making more money than I need so I can work a few hours a week. You know, today I went to a breath work and was saying to a guy like, hey, like how lucky we are to be able to be in this place on the front of the beach at 2 p.m. having a breath work while most people they're suffering at the job, you know. And I was like, I'm so freaking lucky because few years ago that was my my option. That was where I'm looking like. And but now I chose to believe in myself. And even when I was in the worst places, when I had no money, I kept doing it because I knew that it was a solution. And I'm the living proof that doing meditation and hypnosis will get you anywhere you want. All you have to do is to find the goal you have and to create that identity within yourself. Because when you have that identity shift, it becomes natural for you to do the things. And when you have this identity, you just start thinking, feeling, and behaving in the way. And you notice that the thinking and behaviors are changing. And simply like, if I'm want to drink, I just think about the cup. And if you want to have something different, you need to think differently. So if I don't want to have the tea that's within this cup, I have to think about something else. It's very convenient because in my current reality, this cup is here. But then if I want to be someone different, I would have to think, hmm, what can I do to get water? I want to have natural spring water. How do I think? Who should I be to be every day drinking natural spring water? Oh, I would need to be someone who is only in land where there is a source of natural spring water. And so I could just create myself that identity and start changing what's happening within my life in order to become that person. And when I become that person, that's the moment where I can drink that every day. And it's the same thing if you have your income ceiling and you're stuck there, you're making 10, 15 grand, but you want to go to 20 to 40, you have to start thinking differently. And then, you know, you don't have to change who you are and what you're doing. That's the most amazing. One of the easiest things to make more money is just to change a little bit your offer, you know, like my offer was like just start making money online, and now my offer is like make 20 grand a month, which is so different because if I'm saying to people, hey, I'm gonna help you make your first $1,000, So for them, it's like $1,000. Oh, okay. If I'm telling you, hey, I want 10 grand for that, 10 grand for making 1,000, it's not good. If I'm asking 10 grand for making 20 grand every month, the math is way easier. And what I do is not different, because what I do is just changing the way people think. I still do the same thing, but the outcome, the result is just so much more valuable to the client that they're willing to pay more. So even you right now in your business, there's not much you have to change. All you have to change is the way you think, feel, and behave about it. Because if you're on the behavior is you're on a sales call and your prospect is saying, "Hey, I want to work with you," and you're like, "Yeah, that's gonna be 2 grand." Well, you're gonna need 10 clients for that. 10 clients, and if you work with them for 3 months, that's gonna be 30 clients at once. That's a lot of people. The quality of your work is going down. People don't feel like you're worthy so much. But if you're like, hey, I want to make 20K and I'm having 4 clients, you take 4 clients a month, and means the maximum you have 12 clients, which is way easier to manage. That's 2 3 people per day, and then 3 calls per day on average per week, which is totally doable. But then, you have to think differently, then behave differently. So in a sales call, you have to say, I'm charging 5K. And you have to do it with a positive thing, like, this is happening now, right? And we're doing it together, and with that positive, like, it's natural for me to do it, and it's natural for you to accept to do that. So when you're in that state of mind, things go easy. You're not asking yourself, will I do it? You know that it is you. And when you know that's your identity, you do the thing. So like what you can do now, if either you are in my community or on my YouTube channel, you can find the all the hypnosis I've already created, or you can have your own, which is even better. You can request a call with me. There's a link in the chat box, in the description, and you can just book a call with me. And with this, we'll make you a free hypnosis just for you, that will allow you to really step within this new identity. We will erase your old identity and create a new identity. So on a daily basis, you will be starting to think, feel, and behave in a way that will bring you the money. And when you will have the money, you just thank me, because you'll understand that it's so easy and you can do it very easily. So anyway, don't waste any more time. Just find my work, start listening to it, or request a call, which is even better, and then let's make things happen. Have a good one.